Hello, everyone. This is Brian Burrows with Equity Real Estate. I wanted to share some data with you and what's going on in the market over the last week here in Utah. Now, it is true there are fewer showings up until this last week. This week was crazy with showings, and I just wanted to share with you some of these numbers. Let me quickly just switch over my screen so you can see what I'm talking about. As you can see with what we talked about last week, the numbers were actually down negative 40% right here, but they have steadily increased this week. So the active residential listings per day, let's push this up here so you can take a look. In 2019 is our little line here, going pretty steady, pretty close to the same all the way through April from January. In 2020, we actually took a dip going down, 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 down until March 5th. But in this last week, we've actually climbed up quite a bit. So a lot more people are feeling a little bit safer about listing their homes. They've seen that online marketing is one of the best ways to go as far as getting the number of, and the masses out to actually look at their homes without actually having to come in. Now, if we look at the average number of active residential listings per day over the last 5 years, we will see that down here in March, we are still below that of the other years prior. But because of this graph, let's take a look at this. If we continue to go on this curve, this is going to be one wild year. You see how every single year has a pretty consistent swing to it from one year to the next. It starts high, kind of has a little bit of a dip, and then over the summer goes up. I would love to see how this thing goes this year. I think this is going to be like a heart rate monitor going way up and way back down. It's going to be insane, folks. So just a little bit on the numbers every single year. In 2016, we had a pretty good year. 2017 drop, 2018 another drop, 2019 way back up there, almost the same. Look at that, every single month, almost within 100 or 200 per month. Now back in 2020, we see that we're all the way down to 68.11 in January, down to 64.87, and that is very understood as to the reason why. But let's look at the average under contract residential listings per day. So you can see our swing in the orange graph here in 2019 goes pretty consistent, goes up, 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 up. In 2020, we go up, and we are actually ahead of 2020 until right about March 19th. So this last week, we've actually dipped down a little bit. And there may be a reason for that. Part of the reason is that the number of listings is actually been about 30% lower. So with this last week, the number of sales or the number of listings that have gone onto the market have actually increased. So I think that we're going to see that coming up pretty soon. As far as next week, we're going to see that graph just jump. Now on this one, this is the average number of under contract residential listings per day. As you can see, we are outperforming every single year this year as far as the averages. So just take a look at where we're at, almost about 7,300 listings per day that go under contract. Now that's significant because we are so much further behind on how many homes are coming up for sale. What this means is we are going to have a very high shortage very soon if nobody lists their houses. The big thing about that is, for anyone that's thinking about listing their house, this is a really good time to do it because there are more people looking for housing than there are people selling, and that percentage is way higher this year than it ever has been. And we're just going to look at this by month. Of course, we just saw that other graph that showed that jump. So the total number of sold residential listings here at the beginning of March, I think by the end of April, we're going to be way skyrocketing way above. And that just shows with the number of under contract listings and the number of available listings that just came out this last week. So here are some market statistics from 2019 to 2020. So if you guys are worried about leaving your house on the market way too long because of this COVID-19 epidemic, you know, I feel for people that, you know, they are afraid, but there are digital formats to take a look at housing, and we love looking at those things and making sure that homes show their best so that people can actually take a look without having to go inside. Now, in 2019, the average days on the market was 47. In 2020, this last week, this is just from the last week, same comparison, we dropped to 34. Anyone that saw last week, our average list price in 2019 is a little bit higher than our average list price the previous week. Our average list price in 2020 actually dropped down a little bit. The price was $414,000. It's dropped down to $399,000. Now, there are different issues going on. Nothing to really be alarmed. There are a few people that have, yes, listed their homes a little bit low, thinking that the market is going to be terrible and they wouldn't be able to sell, but they aren't looking at these numbers. The other thing is that a lot of lower priced homes are actually going on the market right now than the higher priced homes. So that is actually a good thing, especially if you are in that price range of under $400,000. The average sold price in 2019 was $388,893. The average sold price here is $394,544. So a lot of people are taking lower offers. They're not seeing as many offers. They're kind of throwing a fit, seeing that, you know, there aren't as many people looking at my house. I need to sell. I need to sell. But yes, with the fewer people looking at the house, that doesn't mean that it's not going to sell. Come back on here. So again, I love looking at numbers. I love looking at numbers. I'd love to do that on an analysis on your home as well. If you guys have any questions, comments, anything you would want to talk about, give me a call. My name is Brian Burrows. My number is 801-920-9343. And you can also reach me at homesofwestjordan.com. Okay, I will see you next week.